Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for another episode of the Monarchs of Wrestling podcast. I'm joined as always by my guy, the Playmaker. Playmaker, what's up, man?
What's up, cool? It's a lot. There's too much going on, man. I'm trying to keep up with everything. It's not easy. There's too much going on.
That is so very true. It's so very tricky. And below us, joining us this week, the wild card himself, Steve. Steve, what's going on, man?
My man, cool. What's going on? Yeah, I mean, it is. There's a lot going on, tons going on, but hey, it's a great time. Let's talk some wrestling.
And he's saying that with a
Hey,
W R
man.
A S S L I N,
Hey,
just so y'all know.
hey. This is the first time me and Steve have ever done a show together, but I got a feeling on down the line, y'all gonna really see how me and Steve go at each other because we used to do it a lot when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah,
It'll be
it
fun to
might be
watch.
fun. It might get fun. Yeah, it might get fun. It might get fun.
Might not be tonight, but
But
but be
You
assured,
never know.
but be
You never
assured, as
know.
we get close to big events, it could be some interesting things going on between me and Steve.
Could happen tonight. You never know, right? But
I doubt it because it ain't nothing big going on right now.
it's always something big going on. That's always something big going on.
Well, you put it in your words, and yeah.
But we have first, we're going to talk a little WWE here. We have our weekly rebound. So y'all know how we do it on the Monarchs of Wrestling. We're not going to sit here and just go through every different match that happened because we don't need to do that. We're going to hit you with the juicy stuff for the good matches, the good segments, the good things that happen, overlying story arcs. The other stuff, we're going to leave that to the side. So, Playmaker, talk to me, man. WWE Raw this past week, man. What did you think were some highlights of the show and some things you would like to dig into a little bit?
You know what? What? Ain't nowhere around it. Let's jump right into it. Jay Uso gave Judgment Day his answer.
Yes, he
Okay,
did.
even though he took an L to Drew McIntyre,
Mm-hmm.
which brings me to another interesting dynamic. I think I know where we're going next. We've been saying
Give it
the
to
heel
us.
turn is coming. We've been saying the heel turn is coming. We've been trying to figure out when. Drew McIntyre heel turn is coming. He's going to attack. I got a feeling he's going to attack Cody Rhodes. He's going to be the one to attack Cody Rhodes. And the reason why? Because who's the one who brought Jay Uso to Raw?
Exactly. I like where you're going. I
Did you?
feel it.
Did you? If you didn't watch Raw, or if you seen the highlight, Judgment Day after the match was jumping Jay Uso in the ring. Drew McIntyre was
Whooping
conflicted.
his yes.
Oh yeah, Drew McIntyre is on the ramp on the stage, conflicted. I'm putting that in quotation marks. Conflicted. Should he go back and help? Should he not? After a while, the American Nightmare comes out to help Jay. Drew McIntyre, he goes off into the locker room. That's when I knew. I said, you know what? I have a nicking feeling now. Now the real heel turn is about to come in. It's going to be at Cody Rhodes' expense. Because he's the reason why that guy, who has made a lot of enemies in WWE because of the family, is on Raw. So, you want to add anything cool?
I would like to add something. So, remember we talked before, and I said that they could be gearing up for a big, big swerve with who's going to SmackDown and the heel
Yeah,
turn the
yeah.
week before. I mean, I could add what I'm thinking to what you're talking about. The week before, we find out that Drew's the one that got traded, right?
Mm-hmm.
He comes out and he whoops Cody Rhodes monkey like Jey Uso was getting beat last night, right?
No, he was
That
getting
would
his
be
butt whooped
something.
on Raw.
Yes, they. I mean, excuse me, on Raw, they beat his butt, man. I'm not big on whatever, but that was a
But
good beatdown.
when you do that, you have to have Judgment Day do it like that.
Yes,
Like you have to have Judgment Day do it like that.
it's one person. That's the kind of beatdown that should
gave him the
happen.
offer. They gave him an offer, and he answered with pretty much super kicks to all three of them.
Right, you super kick everybody. You know what's happening. Like there's no question. You're gonna get that. Then remember, I believe it was early in the show Monday, right, when Drew had Cody come back to the ring, and he was like, "Why did you bring him here?" Or was that Kevin Owens? That was Kevin.
That was
Kevin Owens, yeah.
Kevin.
But still part of the same story arc. Still part of the same story arc. Why did you have him come back? Right? Kevin Owens asked the question, but we know who's watching the back. Kayfabe wise, we know.
Yeah, technically we didn't get our answers because Sammy interjected himself.
But we got the question asked. And with the question being asked,
was asked.
now we know. And Cody was like, "Oh, everybody deserves a second chance." The same old baby face stuff you hear. Right?
Nothing wrong.
But I'm telling you, boy, that's gonna add up to being juicy.
Yep.
Yeah. Cody, of course, had a match with Dominic earlier in the night. So that little foreshadowing on what was going to end up happening.
Whoop his behind.
But, that's the only way that could go. Like, there literally was no other way that could go.
And yes, Dominic still is the most top heel in wrestling right now.
Dominic is the most hated individual in all of sports entertainment.
Yeah.
Maybe all of entertainment, right?
That guy though. It's amazing how long this just keep going.
If this dude picks up a mic and just opens his mouth, nothing even has to come out. If he just, I'm gonna use this can. If he just goes, there's a chorus of boos. It's ridiculous.
It's ringing through the arena.
But it's amazing at the same time because we get to understand what's really like so amazing about him is that he learned the character part. Now, I'm not going to sit here. Playmaker's not going to sit here. And I know Steve's silent right now. He's not going to sit here and say that you've seen Dominic Mysterio come out and have a 5-star, 4-star match, right? But he gets it done in the ring. He's not a liability. He doesn't suck, but he's got work to do. But the character work, and we got to remember, if we're being honest, WWE is character work. That's the main thing that they push is character work.
Most definitely character.
So the fact that he's developed a character that's hated, that's always going to get him over. It's always going to, right?
Like,
and then of course,
I want you to understand how that's a simple turn on your dad gets you this. That's a simple turn.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't like he's out here. Ain't like he out here just doing stuff and just make you hate him. All that he did was turn on his dad and join Judgment Day. That's all he did.
Well, you gotta remember he was yelling at his mom and his sister, right? So they added a little extra negative heat to him. I mean, he's played the character like great. There's no way you could play the character better than he's done. He's played the character great. But I think it was a slow burn. And then when you added the family in and the Hall of Fame stuff and all that, it just made people just really hate this guy, man. And like I say,
and Michael Cole led the charge.
Oh, Michael Cole.
Michael Cole. He don't do it no more, but he be going that dumb. I'm like, dang, Cole.
He is a different man without somebody in his ear telling him how to do his job. So I love what we see from him. And I hope that we continue to see Michael Cole be this guy versus what we were getting before, because this is a much more entertaining and exciting version of him. But a couple other quick things I want to touch on for Raw. Of course, the whole Shinsuke, Ricochet, and Seth Rollins triangle thing is kind of a little weird, but I see where they're going. Trying to find something for Ricochet to do to kind of pull himself back up after the whole fiasco with Logan Paul. And I mean, hey, thanks to the cuts we're going to talk about in a few minutes, there's some spots open. You know, maybe he can not be a jobber, right? Maybe he can be like lower mid card now.
I get all
And
that. I understand.
I say that to joke, but I'm actually pretty serious too.
I get all that. I understand all that, but you know, we is talking about Raw, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am the one who like to give credit when credit is due, right?
That's what I've come to know about you, sir.
The way they are booking Nia Jax, oh my gosh.
You think that wasn't next, sir? You think that we was not going to talk about the way they booking Nia Jax?
Woo! She's literally destroying the women's locker room.
So, you know, when she took out Chelsea Green, I'm like, all right. When she took out Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, I'm like, all right. But when she took out Piper Niven, I was like, ooh. You know, because I'm just saying, like, size-wise, right? Piper Niven's a big girl. So when she took out Piper Niven, I'm like, all right, okay.
So you looking at size. I'm looking like, okay, when we first introduced you, you took out the two main stars on the show because they were fighting for the title.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Them two injured, so I'm thinking we might not gonna see you. If we do, you probably gonna come out, talk about what you did, send a message of saying why you back and what you want. Oh no. So the four of y'all are in a match together, teaming up. I'm going to destroy the four of y'all too.
All four of you.
Okay, so we got Nia Jax destroying the women's locker room. I'm here for it.
That's
we
words.
Ain't talking.
More actions.
We ain't talking. I love
you know,
it.
honestly, you know, the funny part about this is, and I thought about this when I saw it, this is Bronson Reed done the right way. That's what we're getting with Nia Jax.
I thought they was gonna go that route when they first put him with the Miz. Then I was like, oh Lord, if this what they doing with Bronson Reed, it's gonna be hell on. It's gonna be hell on Raw.
Yep. And then the next challenger, of course, the only other thing really worth talking about on Raw, the next challenger for the Intercontinental Championship has been revealed. And of course, it's going to be Tommaso Ciampa. I don't think he's going to win either. But you have to have a fresh face in there. So we'll see who actually is the one that takes it off of Gunther. We've gotten over the record. So now it's just a matter of how much longer they want him to have it.
I can't see Tommaso doing it. I can't.
Nah, I can't either.
I can't see Tommaso being the one. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
I completely agree.
You got to be more than just. It has to be something else. Because that's a simple promo, and all of a sudden you come after the Intercontinental Championship. I need some substance. You feel me? I need some substance. Let's not give me no substance.
No substance at all, sir. No substance at all. So, any other thoughts on Raw?
Now, I will say this though. What is they planning with Becky Lynch? But that was an interesting thing they did. You won the NXT title. You come to your actual show, which is Raw, and you put the title up on the line. Like the NXT Women's title was actually defended on Monday Night Raw. I was kind of baffled by that. I'm like, okay.
So, you know, the reports was she had a different person that she wanted to face, and they made her do Natalya as a thank you. So what I don't understand is how is getting a title match for the NXT Championship on Raw a thank you at all? The logic is just so. But here's the thing.
Yeah, you know how they are. You come here to win
every wrestling mark, right? But I and every other wrestling mark, casual fan, person that may not have even watched Raw for 6 months to a year, knows Natalya is not beating Becky Lynch for championship. That's not happening. That's like me, you, and Steve winning the AEW Trios Championship from the Acclaim and BA Billy Gunn. That's just not happening. It doesn't make sense. Two different levels. There's no way that that's happening. Even on we got any given match, I get all that. That's not happening. So what I'm saying is, you cut, and here's the other part. You cut a promo about to give the young ladies a chance and give people who don't get opportunities a chance. And then here comes somebody who's been around forever, has gobs of opportunities, nowhere near a youngster, an OG in the women's locker room. You know what I'm saying? Probably one of, if not the oldest women in the locker room, gets the title shot. Those two things just do not match to me. Suspect.
Yeah, that's bad. That pretty much sums up Monday Night Raw. 3 hours and you got 3 main points.
Yep. That was the fairness of Monday Night Raw.
Oh,
that was
you
all.
know what? Hold on.
Pretty much Monday
That's
Night Raw
not it.
was.
That's not it for Monday Night Raw. So word around is Monday Night Raw and NXT come sometime in 2024 will no longer be on the USA Network. I guess you can call it a move up to the NBC schedule. Here's the problem. Now, if Steve wanted to chime in on this part, I would like to hear from him. But they're talking about Monday Night Raw no longer being Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. So basically, SmackDown's going to be going to USA. And then Raw doesn't have to be on Monday nights anymore. Raw can be whatever. You might get Monday Night SmackDown. Who knows, right? They're talking about possibly making SmackDown 3 hours.
They're saying, they're keeping SmackDown on Friday.
That's what they're saying now. But WWE's not going to put, or TKO is not going to put 2 shows on like back-to-back nights or things. So it all depends on what happens with Raw. But I do think SmackDown should stay on Friday nights because it's drawn so much the USA has went and pulled it, right? They basically went and said, hey, we got to get that on USA. That's the show that we need on USA. We don't have Raw. Oh, well. Let's get that USA. But this also could bring SmackDown to 3 hours. Because USA has that 3-hour time slot in mind. They've done it already. So we could get 3-hour SmackDown. And then think about this. Advertising dollars. This is all about advertising dollars.
Oh, we know
if you go and you watch Raw and you watch SmackDown on Hulu, you get about 20 minutes more of wrestling on a 3-hour Raw than you get on a 2-hour SmackDown. You know what I'm saying? You might get a few more promos, but actual wrestling, you get about, sometimes it's as low as 15 minutes. Because I have purposely just, even if I watch Raw, just went and found it again with just the show itself, and then found SmackDown with just the show without the commercials and everything. Condensed version, 15 to 20 minutes difference. So it's advertising. I don't think they should. I think SmackDown is great the way it is, but I didn't think they should with Raw either.
Hell no. SmackDown stay at 2 hours because guess what? You leave people wanting more. It's like, damn, I gotta wait a week.
Hey man, they leave you want more Raw too. They would probably need a 4 so to leave
with
you
Raw, you be like, oh damn, I still got another hour to go. Wait a minute. Okay. What else y'all got? Because y'all don't did most of the main stuff that I wanted y'all to do already.
Well, they'll give them more time to put over the same people and jobbers to get beat and push down the card. So yeah, it's just more matches with the same people winning. That's one of my gripes with WWE's. I don't feel like they're doing a good job of making new stars. Ali cuts this promo about how he's so ticked off about he's not getting his shot. He's supposed to be getting a shot at the NXT North American Championship. And then Dragon Lee's going to get one before him. So he's going to be at Raw this week. And he's going to be watching the match. He's not going to be at Raw this week. He's not going to be watching the match. And if you had in your mind that you were going to cut him, which you had to have, right? You didn't just take a dart and throw it at the board and land on Mustafa Ali. You had a good idea you were going to cut him before then. Why not even have him do that? Just go the whole route with Dragon Lee and just kind of move away from Mustafa Ali. I mean, that's just storyline continuity. Some of the things I kind of look at WWE now and say, you're so disjointed. It feels like you may not even be paying attention to your own show.
See, I don't. They disjointed because of this merger.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, as someone consuming the product, I'm like, do better. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, do better.
You know me. I like to go behind what is actually seen. Like, okay,
Yeah, that's true.
I see what's going. So y'all merged, and all of a sudden now we got that. Okay, I see what's going on here, but we'll get to those later because a show did happen Friday.
It did. And on Friday, I think we had some good things that happened, right? Honestly, the matches themselves were good matches, right? What SmackDown has done a masterful job of, and you did allude to this a few minutes ago. Ever since the beginning of the Bloodline, they've given us good matches on the show, and it's some type of build-up. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller against the Brawling Brutes, right? Two young, impetuous little jerks. And then Austin Theory comes in, he's ruining stuff, messing up stuff. And, he's getting fuss-fed by Adam Pearce. So then here comes Grayson Waller, and they happen to run into the Brawling Brutes. Put them all together, go out there and beat them up. Now, we knew who was going to win the match because the Brawling Brutes without Sheamus, it just spells jobber. So we know who was going to win that match.
That was a good match.
But the actual match is good. And see, that's where I get so confused with WWE. You had these great matches, and they had one team job out.
Especially,
you know what I'm saying?
That was a great finish.
It was a bad finish. Yeah, it was a bad finish. But just saying, like, it feels like certain teams you look at and you're like, they're jobbing. And that's pretty much what happened. All right, and then the Pretty Deadly vignette was a little weird, but those are weird dudes, and they're supposed to be kind of.
Okay, you got a point on that part. It's like a little weird. And then you refer to their character, and then you got a point on that one.
Yeah, they're supposed to be like a little. I feel like even for the characters, it's a little out there, but the characters are a little out there anyway. They wear like these weird tops. They're guys, so you don't really need it, but it's a little different. So just it's a little different. When they come back, I wonder, are they going to put them with Theory and Grayson Waller, and they have their own little like weird group since they were backing them up before? We'll see, but just something to think about. I liked the women's championship match. It was a great match. Like the wrestling within that match, everything made sense. Even the finish made sense.
No, you're right. It made sense, but when you watching that match, it was like something has to happen. But when?
Right. Because when Charlotte came out, you already knew what it was. When Charlotte Flair came out,
something's going to happen, because them ladies, they were then out of breath.
And Charlotte Flair is the queen of inserting herself into everything.
Well, I mean,
the only way you can get a week without Charlotte Flair,
when you have Billy on the other side,
on a leave,
how can you not?
Yes, that's true. And then, what I think was the match of the night, not for the match itself, which wasn't bad, but because of what happened after the match.
I was wondering how you was gonna bring that up.
Oh yeah. That's like the match of the night. Now, the segment of the night, we already know what it is. But the match
segment, we know what the segment of the night, but the match of the night,
and the whole thing with it, not just the match, but what
gave you a curveball.
Yeah. The Dominant Street Profits with Bobby Lashley in their corner lost to Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar because Angelo Dawkins, after we got, like, I guess I'd call like a mini dominator type move on the apron from Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins hesitated before pinning Rey Mysterio. which allowed Mysterio to get back in it, flip him over, and get a pin, still a victory. Lashley was pissed. And Playmaker, I'm gonna let you explain the rest of what happened with this because I know that you are ready to do so.
If you know anything about the Street Profits, they have always been baby faces. They have always been baby faces. So when Bobby Lashley did what he did to Rey Mysterio, the typical baby face is looking like, why? Like, why did you do that? And you can see the look on his face was like, you didn't have to do that. And of course, it cost him the match. So now what they're doing is you got to break the baby face out of the Street Profits so the darkness can rise.
Not the darkness.
Oh yeah, I'm going there. So the darkness.
Darkness.
You know how I can't say embrace the dark side.
Embrace the hate.
So they got to get the Street Profits to the point where they need to embrace the hate. And so you know what? Blank everything that we used to do. We are trying to be great. And once they come to that point, which is coming, because you gotta present it in a certain way. So Bobby Lashley, if you ain't gonna pull the trigger, you just give me everything back, and I go for somebody who will pull the trigger and want to be great. That's all it is. It's gonna come to a point. The Street Profits is gonna snap, and once they snap, I guarantee you this. Now, depending on who they snap on now, but most of the time, from what I am viewing, when they snap, they gonna get cheered when they snap.
Yeah, it's gonna come soon because Lashley's pushing them correctly. He is really he's bringing out the edge, but you see the baby face is taking a little longer than he wants for the baby face to die. So that's going to add like a tiny level of frustration. But at the same time, it's going to be magnificent just to see him really be like, I got him now. Like they embracing it, they with it. And I think we're going to see less dancing when they're coming to the ring. I think we're going to see a much more focused Street Profits. And we've already seen a much more focused Street Profits in the last couple of weeks. But I think it's going to get even better because of what we're going to get with Bobby Lashley. We're gonna see them get a little bit more vicious.
Now a little downfall might be we might not see no more red solo cups.
No, we're gonna see no more red solo cups. They're gonna be gone. There's gonna be no more stirring up of red solo cups. They're coming out street to make profits. Right? It's gonna be. I just hope they don't call them like the Soup Profits or anything stupid like that. They're still the Street Profits. They need a little bit. There's two things that could really solidify the change. A remix of the song, because the song is great, but remix the song. So don't change it, but remix it. Maybe you slow it down a little bit. Maybe you add something else to it. Maybe you change the beat up so it's more similar to the Almighty's music and like the ominous presence of the music. So you get that conveyed, sense of, all right, it's still the Street Profits. They still bring the swag like nobody can, but the swag now is the suits, the more serious, the sunglasses, like we focus. We here for business. We ain't here to have fun and drink out of solo cups. So I think that's what we want to do. The gear change, I like the new gear, right? It's still a little bit Street Profity, but it's more like serious. So I think that's the route that we're going slowly. So this is like a slow burn, full on heel turn. When they're finished with this, the Street Profits are going to be heels. Dominant heels that are whipping your candy yas all over the building.
Man, we finna have 3 factions in WWE at the same time.
So to speak. And ironically, all three of them at this point can appear on SmackDown.
Speaking of factions,
Speak on it.
is it me, or does it seem like Jimmy is in the Bloodline?
I don't think Jimmy's in the Bloodline. I think that's the impression that's being given off. But if you listen to Jimmy's music, if you listen to Jimmy's first couple of promos, he's not in it for anybody but Jimmy. And I think that's going to become apparent when Roman Reigns gets back. Because I don't think Jimmy's going to want to take orders from Roman Reigns.
Now, this is before I continue on. That does bring me the question that I have been thinking about ever since Roman Reigns took his leave of absence. What if Roman Reigns don't come back alone?
He should not come back alone. On one side should be Zillify 2, and on the other side should be what's my man's name? I always forget his name. I watch MLW, watch him and forget his name. But the guy that was the MLW champ is their family too. Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu. I always forget his name. That's who he should come back with.
That's a question that's been burning my head since he's been gone. Like, what if he don't come back alone?
Remember this as well, Playmaker. I'm still holding on to the theory that the other person that could have been traded is that returning Nia Jax to put her with the Bloodline. Because if you're going to go up against the Judgment Day, which is where this has all got to lead to, faction versus faction, because the Street Profits of Bobby Lashley, unless they're going to go get like Bianca Belair, another guy, right? It's not going to be a full faction. It's a faction, but it's not like, it's not that same type of faction. But if you go bring Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley, have, you know what I'm saying? Then you have Roman back, Solo. I think Jimmy's going to be gone when Roman returns, and then 2 new members, possibly. Now, that's a faction versus faction battle.
Now, as of right now, and they did a number on AJ Styles.
They did. AJ Styles must have wanted to take a break, spend some time with the family, because he got written out real nicely. And there's something brewing in this story with how Carl Anderson keeps telling him, like, where I told you to leave him alone, not to mess with the Bloodline, blah, blah, blah. So either it's going to come a point where the rest of the OC is going to have to get involved, or we're going to see the dissolution of the OC and no point in Carl Anderson or Gallows returning.
So now we have John Cena, who got his behind kicked too.
His ass got dealt with. He got a Jey Uso beaten and won't nobody to save him.
And John Cena signed the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Uso signed the contract. Solo Sikoa signed the contract.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, we have a 2-on-1 match at Fastlane. Who's coming to save John Cena?
Well, I'm going to ask you a question on which one of these guys do you think it would be? So, 1, we've got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. 2, we've got Randall Keith Orton. Or somebody else.
I see what you did.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you did.
You like that? Like that, don't you? Like that?
I see what you did.
Like that.
So those of you who are not following, who is trying to put the pieces together, let me put it together for you. We're about to enter the 10th month of the year. Mm-hmm. Beginning literally next Sunday is the beginning of October. Mm-hmm. Actually, if I remember correct, I think that's when Fastlane is that weekend, or that weekend or the weekend after.
I think it's the 7th, 6th or 7th.
6th or 7th. Mm-hmm. Not too far after that.
Saturday, yeah.
Not too far after that, the man of WWE is returning next month. So what Cool just did is, if somebody of that magnitude comes back to be John Cena's partner, the Tribal Chief is going to return, and we're gonna have a new feud for the Undisputed Championship.
And that feud can slide right into WrestleMania.
Now, if it's
Because,
The Rock,
if it's The
if
Rock,
it's The Rock,
because
The Rock is not going to challenge him at Survivor Series.
mm,
This is going to be more of a respect on respect type of thing. As The Rock says, Mahala, the
mhm.
feeling, the spirit, the love. This is what God's going to be. But if it's the man who has my favorite finishing move, we talking Survivor Series, and we could be talking about Royal Rumble too. Because just so you know, if it is that man that is called Randy Keith Orton, he's going to get at least 2 shots.
he's gonna lose them both, but he's gonna get 2 shots.
Oh, he's going to get 2 shots. Just
Yeah.
best believe that. And oh, by the way, and if he does come back, I'm letting you know, there's going to be some Bloodline members taken out. I guarantee you. That is in the story. That is in writing right now. If they go that route, some Bloodline members getting taken out by Randy
And the
Orton.
easiest one to take out is Jimmy. That would be the first person to get taken out. I
Hey, you know,
guarantee
I
you.
can see it right now. First matchup, Survivor Series, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and the Bloodline get involved. And I can see Randy's like, you know what? I knew what was coming. But I just wanted to see how it was when I came back against Roman Reigns. And now you finna get the Viper. Now you finna get the Legend Killer all in one, which means he finna start taking out people left and right. And when he get on that roll, ooh. Because the word is Randy Orton is at the Performance Center. There was
Yep.
video of him being at the Performance Center.
Now we'll say this. Let's take that with a grain of salt, though, because Big E has been there 3 or 4 times, and he still can't get cleared. So let's take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that he won't get cleared. I'm not saying that Randy Orton isn't coming back. I'm just saying take that with a grain of salt, because there have been times recently where someone's been there and they still can't get cleared. But all roads are leading to that happening. Now, all roads could also be leading to that other. That other could be, if they don't find anyone else, or if they want to go the route, the American Nightmare himself, with a special pass to team with John Cena at the event, because it's technically a multiple brand event.
I can't go there yet. I can't go there because for me, the goal is the WrestleMania. We still in September. WrestleMania is still a long way away. Like,
Well, you got to remember
you put him teaming with John Cena in October. Okay, how can we stretch from October? How can we stretch from October to January, from January to April?
So from January to April is not going to be a problem. I'm going to tell you the easiest way, the smartest way to do that. You did it last year. He wins the Royal Rumble. He calls a shot. You know he wants Reigns. So that takes care of that. You do whatever you want, Roman. You ain't going to show up about 3 times between now and then anyway. But when WrestleMania comes, all roads lead to me and you. I got to finish the story. So that's how you could do that. You can have this match. Then he still got the Judgment Day stuff going on. Drew McIntyre's going to whoop his ass. So he's going to have to take care of that. By the time you do that, you then got to January. You have him win the Royal Rumble again. This time he wins the Royal Rumble. WWE, you ever come across this between now and WrestleMania next year? Look me dead in the eyes. I'm looking right at you. Put the belt on Cody, or we will riot TKO. No joke. You will lose viewers, you will lose money, and you will lose hope. We're not playing with you again. Do the right thing. What are your thoughts, Tony?
All right, we gonna have to see, cause like I said, it's a long way. You gotta figure out which direction they gonna go with that one. If it's Cody Rhodes, 'cause that's a. And then again, you might be right, cause there's no more good time for Drew McIntyre to strike than at a premium live event,
Mm-hmm.
and help cost them the match to the Bloodline.
Mm-hmm. And this will be the first time that Jey Uso will be interacting with his brothers, because that's gonna have to have some type of interaction.
Oh Lord, if they do a backstage with that, that's gonna be so awkward.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do a backstage. I mean, you have to acknowledge it some way, right?
That's gonna
You
be
have to
so
acknowledge
awkward.
that. So that could be good as well. But yeah, just thinking about some options, right? And that's the reason I did other. And I know you're gonna get to it, Playmaker, but just to clear it up for everybody is you've got Jey Uso hanging around out there, right? You've got Cody, you've got other options. So I don't want to just put one person in that slot. I want to kind of leave that because the Bloodline screwed over a lot of people.
Oh yeah, we know. If you're watching around, you know, because everybody want a piece of Jay.
Mm-hmm. And why they want a piece of Jey? Because it's part of the Bloodline. So everybody will want a piece of the Bloodline. So anything else from SmackDown that you would like to discuss?
No, that's pretty much it for SmackDown, because it's getting real interesting on SmackDown. Now the real question is, actually, I'm inside both questions into one. Going back to the ladies, we know Jay Cargill is at the Performance Center. This has been factually proven. For those of you who like, this has been factually proven. She is at the Performance Center. Now, the first initial reports come out, she could be going straight to the main roster. One, what brand will they put her on? And two, if they put her on a certain brand, will there be a run-in with a certain somebody else that is missing as of right now, who's been missing since SummerSlam?
If you want to maximize everyone that could be involved in this, I'm going to give you a quick 2-minute story. Maximizes everybody. Jade Cargill gets put on SmackDown. She comes out. She says, "I'm that beer, whatever. I'm that chick, whatever the other got allowed her to say." She's not gonna get anywhere near the creative freedom that she got in AEW. She comes out, and in the middle of her promo, letting everybody know who she is, the music hits. I'm on my own against the wild. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know. Bianca Belair comes down to the ring and says she's the NXT of WWE. There starts a little thing where they end up having a match or two, but then there's a respect for them because Jade's a bad girl. Bianca's turning into a bad girl. So there's a mutual respect formed. Then you've got a certain husband who's going to be a full-fledged heel pretty soon in a certain wife's ear. Babe, y'all can run the tag team division together. You got Bobby Lashley and Jade Cargill there. Y'all come together, you can run the women's division. They get those tag team championships. That does what did Bobby Lashley say he wants for this group? He wants gold. Women tag team championships, they can have them for 2 years. Right? Until they eventually have a falling out. They can have them championships for a long time. That gives the belts some much needed relevancy. And it also puts 2 champions in this new forming faction.
Let me throw a different route in there. Because you did say the Bloodline, they need somebody on the other side to cancel out Mommy, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if the two ladies that you're talking about do come together and join with the husband and Bobby Lashley? We get to a point where Bianca and Nia Jax and Mommy get into it. You have a three-way. Just throwing that one out there. Because when you said that, I was like, whether they add Bianca Belair to that and make it a triangle.
You could go that route too, but if you could, and you could put Jade on Raw, and you could have Jade on Raw until after WrestleMania, and then you could move her over to SmackDown and do my story too.
Because my girl been missing for about a month and a half now.
That's the only problem we're gonna have. It's gonna happen with the match you have that you want to happen according to the rules of WWE. It can only happen at a PLE, like WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble, because of the brands.
Oh, I know.
But Judgment Day is the tag team champions, and tag team champions can't go on both shows, so it could happen on SmackDown too. Just saying.
Mommy goes wherever she want to go.
Mommy does whatever she wants to do. Her and Dom Dom. But that's a whole nother story. Story. So we're gonna make this quick with the AEW because we got to get to these releases, right? So with AEW, anything that you saw that really stuck out to you from Dynamite?
With so much going on, I can't really tell you from AEW right now because
I believe
for I know it seems like from what I'm seeing on social media, from what I'm seeing, this Adam Cole and MJF thing could be coming to a head.
It could be.
And remember, when I first asked, like, how long we gonna keep this going before we really get to the real goal, which is your background, sir.
So we do know on Dynamite that Jon Moxley got basically knocked out for real. And he lost the match that I don't believe he was supposed to lose.
Ray Phoenix.
To Ray Phoenix.
I was wondering, like, how in the hell did Ray Phoenix beat Jon Moxley?
Like, Jon Moxley literally, it was a move put him. He literally got knocked out. Like, he was out. And I think they had to improvise and just have Ray Phoenix win the match because they didn't know what was happening with Jon Moxley. So that was weird to see. That was interesting to see. The women's championship match between Toni Storm and Saraya. I love Toni Storm's new character. She wasn't going to win that match. She didn't win that match. I'm not surprised by it.
She don't need to win no match. Her character was a champion.
Because I'm
saying, like, what is up this section with Toni Storm? And I actually got to kind of slip it. I'm like, good gracious. This is championship. The character itself is champion by itself.
Yo,
this
Tony's
whole
wild right now.
Marilyn Monroe impersonation.
Tits out, chest out, tits out. Watch for shoes.
My gosh.
It's crazy, bro. But yeah, it's wild. Then we had the Eddie Kingston Claudio Castagnoli match. Tell you what, that was so important and interesting. They've had a long time thing going on. Eddie Kingston and Claudio Castagnoli. You watch the AEW, you know the history. This is one of the matches that they've actually built up to. I complain a lot that they don't build up, but they build up to this. Title versus title. the New Japan Championship and then the Ring of Honor World Championship were both on the line. The New Japan Strong Championship. So Eddie Kingston actually won this match, so he won both. I was surprised that Eddie Kingston actually won it. Not that it was against Claudio Castagnoli, but that he actually won a match to win 2 championships. That was the biggest surprise to me about him actually winning. I knew it was a possibility, but that was surprising. And then, of course, we know what was going to happen in that World Championship match. We know Samoa Joe was not going to win that match. So any thoughts you got on those, man, or you good to move on?
Man, you know, I just want to see Samoa Joe win the big title. That man is too good not to be a world champion, or world heavyweight champion, should I say?
Yep.
Because I
And the
believe
one
he
other
wouldn't have-
thing,
if he wouldn't have got hurt in WWE, he would have been a world champion. He would have been a world heavyweight champion.
that's fair. And then the one other important thing that happened, Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara have a match. Chris Jericho wins. Sammy Guevara gives him what I determined to be the undertaking. And signified that he is now part of the Don Callis family. So Sammy
Oof.
Guevara has turned, he's now part of the Don Callis family. So that's interesting. Then on
Now it makes sense of why I seen Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega together. It's like, why I'm seeing Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho?
yeah, that
Okay,
happened
going
on let's see, Rampage. Rampage, basically Sammy Guevara came out with Don Callis and the other guy. And I can't remember his name at the moment. Otano. Yeah, him. But anyway, he came out and said he's part of the family and through Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho comes out. He starts to get the beat down. And then Kenny Omega comes out with the pipe for the save. They bump at each other, turn around. They decide the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So, you know, they're going to kind of have a tag team match against him. So that's where that's going.
Damn.
Yeah.
Really, Sammy, though? Really?
You know what, man? That's a long time coming. That was a long time coming.
I mean, yeah, you probably right, but I'm like, well, damn. All you had to do was win. That's it. You had one job. You had one job, and you ain't do it. Jericho told you what he was gonna do to you,
Yeah. Then on
and you can handle it.
then on Collision, we've been laughing for it feels like forever about Christian Cage pretending he's the TNT Championship.
Oh
champion,
my
right?
gosh, this
He's
guy
not
here.
pretending anymore. This jerk.
This guy here.
And this jerk, this is what I say when I say AEW has some good long-term stories, but sometimes you just got to wait to see how they play out. Christian's been carrying around a TNT championship. To do the 3-way, Luchasaurus gets the belt. He's holding on to the belt. He's looking at the belt. He's, Christian kind of convinced him to give me the belt. So he gives Christian the belt. Later on in the match, Darby Allin hits the coffin drop on Luchasaurus, about to pin him. Christian comes in, slams Darby Allin into the corner, and then pins Luchasaurus to become the new official TNT champion. So you had this whole thing about him going after, they going after Darby Allin, going after get the championship. They get the championship, right? They get the TNT championship. Luchasaurus wins it. Christian's walking around with the championship. Darby Allin's still trying to get his belt back. Luchasaurus is the champion, right? He's beat Christian Cage, but not Luchasaurus. So Luchasaurus ends up getting beat by Christian Cage. And they tease what we know is going to happen. What they try to do with Wardlow, but I don't know if he got hurt, he just needed time off or what, but they didn't finish the story. They still can, but they haven't so far. They tease Luchasaurus wanting his belt. And I think at some point we're going to get that long-term story. We're going to get a Luchasaurus that's going to start talking. And he's going to be more dangerous. And we're going to see if this working with Christian Cage has developed his character for him. Because he could wrestle. Still doubt about that. Got to do something about the character.
That man Christian is $1 million.
They need to sell that turtleneck, bro. That dude wrestles in a turtleneck. Who do you know, bro, that wrestles in a turtleneck?
Christian K is a $1 million hit, man.
Bro, he is a national treasure, bro.
This guy here. Oh my gosh. I seen the pictures. I was like, I had to read it. I read the calendar. I said, what? Because when they did it, they crossed. They put a line through the word retain. And what win? I was like, what is going on here? Are you telling me this man is officially the champion now?
Yep.
Oh, that was genius. Oh my god. I'm like, yep, this is gonna get real interesting now.
Yeah, so they're telling some stories. And then the only other, I mean, there's a lot of things that happened. Andrade and Switchblade had a match. The Switchblade, Jay White won. I mean, here's the thing, man. We talk about all these people who could be this, who could be that. If AEW does not take 2 rockets, rocket boots, rocket arm holsters, rocket hip holsters, and attach them to Jay White and shoot him to the top, AEW will not last. If you've got a guy like Jay White, by the way, guns up, in your facility, storyteller, everything. This is a guy that ran Bullet Club for years. It's still his era.
And
Bullet Club Gold.
You know what the thing is about that? You can say the same thing about the other guy whose name begins with J. Going back and watching the old Impact stuff with Jay Lethal. Oh my gosh, how this man is not well known for what he did and what he does.
The Black
Jay White and Jay Lethal is just they are two natural treasures who never got the push that they need.
So, question for you: which version of Jay Lethal do you enjoy the most? Black Machismo, the Ric Flair impersonations. Which one you like better?
You already know the answer to that question. You already know the answer to that question.
Yeah, but everyone else wants to know.
Dude, when you can go toe for toe, promo to promo with the Nature Boy, you something special. You is something special.
The best part of that dude, man, was when they did the one where he was on the 8, where he was he was coming down the ramp, and him and Ric Flair was going back and forth. Longest ride, oldest ride, longest line, that whole thing. And then they were both like going back and forth. And then when they would get mad, Ric Flair took off his jacket, and then he dropped the elbow of the jacket in the ring. Then Jay Lethal took off his shoes and threw him at the ring, took off his jacket, did the strut, and then dropped the knee on the. I was like, bruh. I watched that to this day. It's saved in my YouTube. I promise you. Sometimes, you just be having a bad day. You just really need a good, ridiculous laugh. Tell you, you find that clip.
Oh my! Actually, they actually had the clip when they had the whole entire feud with them too.
Yes, yes.
And
you know what's crazy about it? Jay Lethal did an interview, and he said essentially he was in the back clowning around with some of the guys, and he did a Ric Flair impersonation. People at Impact was like, "Oh, we love it." Ric Flair was like, "Yeah, let's do it." They went out. He did the promo, that first one. Never rehearsed it. Had never done anything with Ric Flair before. That was his first time doing something with Ric Flair, and that's what it was. Didn't rehearse it or anything.
The thing was, I'm like, how did they get Ric Flair to sign off on this? Because I'm happy they did, because this is gold. Oh my God, this is hilarious.
Ric Flair loved it. Ric Flair heard him and encouraged them to do that. That's what's crazy. Yeah, Ric Flair loved it.
Oh my god, that dude. I mean, and I'm sitting here like, man, if people would actually know what this guy did, oh my goodness. Jay Lethal was awesome. Jay White. First of all, first question is, well, that's a rhetorical question. We'll get to it some other time. How many goddamn leaders is there in the Bullet Club?
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple. The different eras, every area had a leader. You started off with Finn Balor when he was Prince Devitt. When he left, AJ Styles took over. AJ Styles left, Kenny Omega took over. When Kenny Omega left, the Switchblade took over. So there's been 4 in total.
This is like that group won't die.
What's up? Can't kill him.
I mean, could you imagine the NWO or DS never died? Oh my gosh.
Because see, Bullet Club did the one thing right that they never did. They don't add 80 people. And when stuff starts getting stale, people move out, they move somebody else in. They're smart like that. They've been a lot. New Japan has done much better with that. They won't let everybody in. Like you'll never see like 40 members of Bullet Club at one time. They don't do it like that. But they do say, so if they ever want to bring somebody back, once you're Bullet Club for life, but you don't have to rep Bullet Club all the time. So that's another interesting piece. They got it right. WCW killed the NWO. But yeah, so there wasn't a lot that really happened. I mean, we could take some time to really go into AEW, but I think the time would be better spent talking about the releases. So we're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? So here's a list.
Like,
yeah. So just to give everybody a quick synopsis of who was released, and then Playmaker, I'm just gonna let you give everything you want to say about it. I'm just gonna give them the list real quick, and then it's all you, big dog. So Dolph Ziggler, Elias, Aaliyah, Rick Boogs, Riddick Moss, Emma, Top Dollar, Shelton Benjamin, Dana Brooke, the aforementioned Mustafa Ali, Mansoor Masseh, Shanky, Dabba Kato, who was also Commander Z's, and Babatunde in NXT, Quincy Elliott, Bryson Montana, Yulissa Leon, Daniel MacArthur, Kevin Ventura Cortez, Alexis Gray, Brooklyn Barlow, and then Matt Riddle, Aki Banjiro, Abule Abdi Fitzgerald, and Melanie Brzezinski. So those are all the people that have been released so far, because that may not even be the end of the list. I know where you're going, I feel like a Playmaker, but I'm going to ask you the question. What releases shock you the most? What releases were you not surprised by? And who, if any, do you think are a mistake that were released?
the funny thing is, there's been rumors or somebody else might get released. And if that person gets released next week, y'all might catch the version of me that comes on in the morning. But it's a rumor for now. It has not been confirmed.
Give them the info,
But
Playmaker.
just letting you know. I can't give them because it's not confirmed, so I can't, can't just
But you can tell it's a rumor that possibly X person may be released.
If this person is released, just know it might be some flaming going on Monarchs of Wrestling next week. I'm just giving you a heads up because when somebody put that rumor out there, I literally said about 200 cuss words in my head and not out loud. Because I'm like, you know what? It's not confirmed, so But let's see here. Most of the names that you said, though, we really haven't seen. Like we really haven't seen them. So I know people be like, oh, they let go of Dolph Ziggler. You know, Ziggler's been there for almost 20 years and all this. When the last time we seen Dolph Ziggler on TV?
He got beat up by Austin Theory the last time we saw him.
And how long ago was that?
That was wild. That was before he was champion.
Man, Matt Riddle don't surprise me one bit because every time I turn around, he in some type of mess outside of the darn ring.
Mm-hmm.
And it get to a point, you gonna get tired of one person keep having stuff outside of what you're supposed to be doing. And somebody came out, somebody reported like they got tired of it. Why is your name in headlines outside of what you're supposed to be doing? That's plain and simple. So
but when he starts talking about you know, he's at the airport saying he got inappropriately touched. Yeah.
I'm gonna need Matt Riddle to get himself together because I don't think you understand why they let your butt go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you part of the cut.
Too many incidents.
But do you understand why they let you go?
Yeah, he hadn't been on TV since the incident. They won't bring him back. This is just an opportunity for them to officially do it, but they was already gonna get rid of him.
Okay, you officially ended this weird relationship with Emma and Moss, which I'm actually happy about.
We know they're actually getting married in real life.
Okay, that works. But I'm like, it didn't look right on TV. It just didn't feel right whatsoever.
They didn't do it right, but I agree.
That could be the reason why, but it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. I'm like, are we going? Like, Moss is great. He's built, but the character not working for me. I never really put stock in Moss. I never did.
Yeah, I liked him better when he was with Sheamus.
Now, I know most people they're gonna miss hearing what WWE stands for.
Walk with Elias.
I know they're gonna miss that. I am too. But I mean, I really think they ran out of ideas for Elias. That's what I really think. I think they couldn't find nothing else for Elias to do.
They should just kept Ezekiel, to be honest.
So I can see why they part of this wearing out of stuff for Elias. It's like can't find nothing for you. Now Aaliyah is surprising because I know she was out injured,
but she ain't done nothing in so long. It was just like, girl, bye.
Will her find coops up, but
fine. You said it right the first time.
Oh,
you said it right the first time. You said it right.
Thank you for getting rid of Masay and Masu. Thank you, Jesus. I was like, what? Why am I seeing these two guys on my TV every time?
You want
like literally
about
anytime you know how you be like, we need a bathroom break. As soon as those two popped up, that was the bathroom break right there. I know I'm speaking for most America. That's the bathroom break. Why is y'all on our TV? Why? Like, why is you on our TV? We don't like nothing about y'all. Which I'm happy when they took Maxine out of that and put her with Afro Academy. It actually worked. I was kind of skeptical at first. I'm like, because I actually thought like I hope they're not finna sit here and break up Afro Academy and have Otis with the Mets a million models. I'm like, no, you better not do that.
Otis.
Which they didn't. So, which they didn't, which makes me good. Cause I'm like, no, I do not want to see that. So,
what about Shanky, man? You want to see Shanky bust it down?
No. Dude, if he came in somewhere like the Great Khali did, you be a terror first. You send messages and stuff like that. Which what I thought was gonna happen when they pair him with Jinder Mahal.
That's what I thought too.
Like they finna come in, they finna run through SmackDown right now. They never ran through SmackDown. I'm saying like it's not no. Because remember when he came in, it was business first. Then after he became champions and stuff like that. All right, then we turn into the loving great Khali.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna be big like that, I need you to come in, send a message. I need you to smack somebody. Whether I like you or not, you come in, smack somebody, send a message. If you're gonna be that big.
What about the quote unquote surprising release of your boy from Hit Row?
Flop daughter, as Michael Cole put it.
Man, listen. I said if you ain't gonna get Swerve back, you can't bring back Hit Row. That was not the same without Swerve. Swerve was Hit Row. I know he wasn't an original member, but there's a reason WWE paired him with them. Swerve was the star. Swerve was the leader. Swerve was that dude. The other cats, they fine by them. They fine together, but they're leaderless. You got a faction with no leader. It can't survive. B-Fab, I think B-Fab has the most upside. Obviously, we know who has the least upside because he's already gone. And then I think I never understood why he even wasted his time coming back. But Shelton Benjamin, greatly underused through his whole career. I would like to see Shelton Benjamin go to AEW and wreck shop. I know it's a question we have for later, but you know what? Why wait for later for what we can do now? I'm gonna go through them. You can let me know if you think they're gonna go somewhere else, or you think maybe it's gonna go independently. Just take bookings. Dolph Ziggler, where do you think Dolph Ziggler ends up at?
I can see Dolph Ziggler going to AEW.
I can see that too. Show off in AEW. What about Elias?
I don't know.
That's Impact.
That's the toughest one. Is Elias?
I say Impact.
To me, that's the toughest one because what does Elias want to do?
I would say Impact because it gives him a chance to be a big dog in a smaller pond.
That's true, but I'm saying, but what does he want to do? Because
you gotta want to build yourself up. Like, I mean, I'm gonna make the assumption that he wants to build himself up as a different character, right? Because you're not going to be Elias in Impact, but you can go to Impact and you can rebuild yourself. That's like your rehabilitation place. Like you're on drug rehab, you're on wrestling rehab, you go to Impact. So I think that would be the best place for Elias. Personal opinion, best I think. So I'm gonna ask you about both ladies together. Aaliyah and Emma and Dana Brooke. Where would you like to see them go?
Aaliyah, you can keep Aaliyah from AEW because I don't think she'll survive that.
She wouldn't.
Dana Brooke. If Dana Brooke goes to AEW, she needs to be a heel. I need to heal Dana Brooke. I need a Dana Brooke who wasn't having it. That's the Dana Brooke I need. If she goes to AEW, I need that Dana Brooke.
So I'm gonna say Aaliyah Impact, Emma and Dana Brooke both to New Japan, and I'm also gonna say Riddick Moss to New Japan. Reason I say Riddick Moss, Emma, and Dana Brooke to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Riddick Moss and Emma need help on their actual wrestling. Best place for that is New Japan. Dana Brooke needs to be appreciated for the wrestler that she is. That can also happen in New Japan. She can get better at the storytelling piece, but she has the wrestling down. but that would be a place for her to go and be able to showcase her skills in a women's division that would give her opportunities. Her in it.
Yeah, whatever she go, I need a serious Dana Brooke.
Oh, you don't play in New Japan. You do not play in New Japan.
So if that's the way, that's the move, I'm with it. I just need a serious Dana Brooke.
I need one Emma character and her to stick with it. I don't need a different one every couple of years. Just saying. All right, so next.
Dude, to be honest, Emma doesn't need to be her.
Whatever. She just needs to be one person to stick
when
to it.
When they gave her the opportunity just to be her, and that was in AEW, she was killing it. It's like, you know what?
Didn't stay around long though.
I'm like, I can.
Well, you mean Impact? Yeah, she didn't stay around long.
I'm like, I can actually get used to this type of Emma. I can get used to this one.
All right, so then the other group we have is Rick Boogs, Top Dollar, Shelton Benjamin, and Mustafa Ali. Because we're gonna say Mansoor, Masay, and Shanky. They probably taking independent bookings for a while. Mansoor and Mace could probably go to Impact if they were willing to have complete character changes. Because Impact, if you ever work for WWE, Impact will take you.
Hell, with all the goddamn titles AEW got, Mustafa Ali, take your butt to AEW.
I think he would be a good fit. I agree. I think he would be perfect in that international TNT championship range. I think he would be perfect in that there. And he's a good enough character that if you let him be himself, he'll shine to an extent.
They got like 50 billion titles over there. I'm pretty sure you can win one of them.
You ain't kidding. Top Dollar, I think, to the lab, bro. We got to get some weight off. And then we can start with some independent bookings for him. Rick Boogs, I would like to see him in Impact with the guitar again, just wilding out. I think that would be a good, just being a big, crazy guitar playing dude. I think that would be a good.
Because that's the only side we've seen on Rick Boogs. I want to see a serious side of Rick Boogs. I'm sorry, if you jacked and big like that, I need to see a serious part of you. Like, well, I need you to be able to put fear in people.
Well, what I think they were doing during that minuscule moment when they tried to push him was he could still be the fun-loving guy outside of the ring, but once he gets in the ring, it's all nasty. But they scratched it so fast it really never got off the ground. But I agree that's the type of character I'd like to see him develop. Shelton, I want to see Shelton.
He can go anywhere. He can let him choose.
I want him in AEW because I want to see him get a chance to at least get some titles and some real recognition as an individual. I want to see Shelton Benjamin by himself getting titles. You know what I'm saying? TNT championship, international championship, heck, maybe the AEW championship. And I want him to call himself the complete package, Shelton Benjamin. Because he is, I'm just saying. And he need to they need to let me be his manager because he needs somebody to talk for him. He needs to let me be his manager.
Just let him choose wherever he want to go. Just let him choose.
Shelton.
Yeah, just let him choose whatever he wants.
Shelton, let me be your manager, bro. We gonna get over. We can start off bad and then change the face. We can start off good and become bad guys. I got you. All right, and then Dabba-Kato, back to wherever you came, back from which thine came.
It's cold, bro.
Rick James. All right, so quickly before we get out of here, man, MJF and Adam Cole. I know you had a couple of thoughts on those. We didn't really get a chance to get into them. What do you think is going to happen next week or two with this whole bromance?
So this is not WWE, so I can't really, put it together like that. This is AEW.
Mhm.
It's different.
Mhm.
But if we're gonna do this, if they're gonna pull this trigger, based on what I have seen thus far, MJF needs to pull the trigger.
See, we differ on this one, right? We differ on this.
I know.
I believe this is the perfect opportunity to get the best version of Adam Cole back. The slimy heel Adam Cole. That's Adam Cole. Right? Boom. That's for a bad guy, man. It's for a bad guy. We
But
need him
let
to
me tell you,
turn.
let me tell you why I said what I said though. This is one of those. I'm the champion. I claim you as my best friend, but there's always some clip played with you talking to Roger Strong, and it sounds like you is playing me, and I'm actually ignoring it for the time being. But I had to fight and claw my way out of Samoa Joe because of you. You know what? I know what the main goal is because I have to go.
But see, here's the thing. Everything that you say is true. Everything that you say is be great. Do you believe AEW would do the depth of storytelling to do that justice?
They probably won't, but if they
Because you got to remember who's making the decisions, and that's this guy.
I don't know. Oh, I know. But what I'm saying is, if you want to do this right,
Tony Khan. I don't blink.
your champion pulls the trigger. And that AEW championship, the world championship, it's gonna skyrocket to another level.
So I think so. At the end of the day, we're saying the same thing from different angles. I think MJF still has to win when the screw job, the quote unquote screw job happens, because that's what's going to make him the good guy. If he loses, he's a sympathetic figure, but he's not a good guy. If him and Adam Cole have a rematch, or him and Roderick Strong end up in a match, right? One or the other, either way, because you could essentially work it from either angle. But they help one, helps the other. What, like they grab a dynamite diamond ring, for instance, and punch him in the head with it or something, right? He still is able to kick out. He still ends up winning the match. They come in, they beat him down after the match. He has no other friends, so no one's going to come help him. He's still a sympathetic figure, but he won. The good guys always overcome the odds. He's automatically 100% the good MJF. Adam Cole is back to being Adam Cole, Bay, Roger
See,
Strong,
the problem
Kingdom.
is, you know what the
We're back.
problem is that AEW facing though.
What's that?
You have two guys that you're portraying as babyface and best friends, who both do tremendous work as heels.
But see,
Tremendous work as heels.
But MJF has surprised me with this facade of a face run. And I actually think if you turn him face, you add about 10 years of likability and consistency to his ability to wrestle, right? Because this is not a guy, he's young, but he's not wrestling every week, right? He's sparsing out his matches enough to where he's understanding, I want to make sure I'm the best version of me, even as a wrestler, 5, 10, 15 years from now. So I think turning him babyface, you can allow a beat up to happen. You can give him a couple of, give him 2 or 3 weeks off. AEW doesn't seem to have the rule if you don't defend the championship every 30 days, you may have to vacate it. I mean, WWE doesn't have it when it comes to Rhea Ripley or Roman Reigns either, but just I digress. But I think that would be a good. Hey, me, I will say it. I would speak
Because
the
I was saying
words
like
from my
the
mouth.
Roman Reigns and might mean anything to you.
But I think it would be a good idea to have the turn, have him get beat up. Then he comes back. He has a couple of matches. They jump him again, right? So you can give him breaks, the breaks that he wants anyway. Because MJF doesn't want to wrestle every week. He doesn't want to show up every week. So ways to get him out of that is whoop that trick. But it all ends up elevating the championship. That's what it's all about. Because at some point, Cole and Strange have to turn on each other. Strong, excuse me, have to turn on each other because you can't both be champ.
Somebody got to turn on somebody.
But first, MJF has to get turned on. MJF is the best heel, best face out of the three. Adam Cole is a face. It's like, whatever. Roger Strong as a face. It's like, oh, you're whining both ways, whatever. But MJF as a face, you're like, this might have a little sizzle to it. I might be intrigued in this on the long term end. So that's just my.
You know what's going on. See, I can see it now. What's going to wind up happening with MJF? He's going to be that. See, I need to come up with another term because when you say tweener, it sounds negative in wrestling terms.
I love it.
But MJF is setting himself up to be that Undertaker, Randy Orton category, or an Edge category. It don't matter.
That's true. It doesn't matter. You can flip him on the drop of a dime, but you need to give him time for people to really love the face character. So when he goes back to the jerk for years and then comes back to the baby face, everybody's like, oh, we missed that MJF. But you have to have that MJF first before you can miss it. That's where I'm coming from when I'm saying that's what I think they're going to do with it. And I will say this, I have it all planned out. I come every week. I give great reasons why. They won't pull the trigger. They won't. All this great stuff that you're hearing from me and Playmaker, this is as far as it's going to go. They never do it. They can watch it, and they still won't steal the idea. And that is AEW and WWE in a nutshell. All right, Playmaker, man, we about to get out of here. So any shout outs that you want to give, let the people know where they can find you, any other last thoughts that you have? Let's get them.
Good Lord have mercy. I don't know. It's been a crazy weekend for me.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm able to wake up Tuesday and still have a voice, I'll be surprised as hell. Because you guys can tell my voice almost gone as it is right now, and I ain't done no yelling. Man. But like I said, I don't think TKO's done with releases. See, I'm not even going to put on WWE. I'm putting on TKO, darn it. This is where these releases coming from. This freaking merger. If one person gets released, I will find a way next week to have my voice so I can go off.
And I will tell you guys this, just to add to that real quick. I'm not saying it's the person you're talking about, but LA Knight was sent home from SmackDown. But LA Knight was sent home because he tested positive for COVID.
I do not need you getting COVID, LA Knight. We got the rocket on you right now. We just haven't launched it yet.
That's okay, man. He'll be back in a week or two. And they'll treat him like he never left. You know how they do. They'll feature the Bloodline for a week or two, and he'll be back.
Because LA Knight's a piece of gold, man. That's a gold mine right there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, matter of fact, real quickly, you see what I said about LA Knight? This is what I want for Jay Lethal. Because Jay Lethal's a gold mine, too.
They're never going to give it to Jay Lethal. They stuck him in that horrible group. They're never going to give him what he deserves. The only way he gets that they actually split Ring of Honor and let him be like a face of Ring of Honor again. They'll never give him that on the AEW side.
And the thing is, they both came from Impact.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Back then it was Eli Drake. Yeah, I watched.
But y'all enjoy y'all week. Enjoy your wrestling. We're gonna see what Monday Night Raw has to in store.
Absolutely.
And they in Canada too.
Oh yeah.
So you know that crowd gonna be hyped.
Yes, those are good shows. Just want for me, man, have fun little week. You know, every night I got something going on. Most nights it's on playcallersportstalk.com/live Wednesday night, Eagles Elite podcast. Shout out Shady Sports. I'm not gonna do any of the commercials this week because we had an hour and a half now. We're gonna rock with it. FYI, if you've been commenting during the episode and you're wondering why we're not responding, we taped this bad boy. Had some things going on. Had to make some corrections and some flips, flops, and hips and hops and all that good stuff. But still wanted to make sure we brought you guys a quality episode. So shout out to you. We'll be live again next week. But make sure you follow us, man. Make sure you like the show. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe, man. We're trying to grow this thing, talk wrestling. Hopefully we can get some more of the squad on a regular basis. But if not, we can hold down by ourselves, as you can see. All right. And good people, with that being said.
Oh yeah. By the way, next week's show gonna be a little special. Because this is gonna be our first show before a Premier Live event.
Yes, sir. So you want to tune in if you're a wrestling nerd like us, because there'll be some good stuff being said. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, for my man, the play caller. I mean, excuse me, I'm talking about myself. For my man, the play maker. Your boy Cool McCain, playcallersportstalk.com/live, Eagles Elite Podcast, at Eagles Elite Podcast on YouTube. Check us out. We'll be back next week. We always dropping that heat.